Welcome back to yet another episode of Movement Medicine. First of all, we'd like to thank our partners. So, thank you, Fit India Movement, for partnering with us. Back to Fitness, the clinic that I run, and Lal to the High, the race that we've been putting together in Ladakh for the last 10 years, where the distances range from 55 to 555 kilometers. And finally, the movie, Moving Mountains Within, which is covering the 10th edition or the last year's edition of Lal to the High. So thank you everyone for partnering with us. Now, coming to the special guest of today, Dr. Neelu Khanna. Thank you, ma'am, for coming along to be present and to be talking to us at this podcast.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajat, for inviting me.
Thank you, ma'am. So, jumping right into your professional and academic background, please tell us more about yourself. What has the journey been so far like?
Yeah, so Rajat, I come from an army background, and my father was in the army. So, being from the forces background, I've been, shuttling throughout the length and breadth of this country, studied in all different kind of schools, from convents, and then, had to be shifted to a KV, though I'm very proud to be a KVite. So, because of admissions due to frequent movement. So, my schooling has basically been 2 years, different places. The actual settling down came when I did my 10th, 11th, and 12th from Chandi Mandir. That is, again, a KV school. And following that, I pursued my bachelor's degree in dentistry. So I cleared my examination for admission in a government college in Patiala. But however, my mother wanted me to, stay with her, and because my father was posted to Chennai, so we decided to, get it. I got my admission in Chennai in a private college. So my dentistry has been from a very small village called Velachery in Chennai. So it's a very well-known college now called as Balaji Dental College, with its post-graduation courses also running. So that was my professional background. And immediately as I finished my dentistry, my father wanted me to join the army. So I gave my entrance and interview, and I was selected. So I barely had 1 month to enjoy after completing my dentistry, and I was wearing the uniform. I was commissioned in Bikaner, Rajasthan, and then I've served in Khasa and Amritsar, and I'm very proud to share that I got the opportunity to serve in the Kargil Dras sector. So we were the first batch of few lady officers who were posted there. So I've served in Dras for 2 years. And due to some family circumstances, like my mother was diagnosed with the terminal CA. And so I decided to quit and be by her side during her last days. So that's how I quit dentistry. Then I kept working wherever. My husband is in the army. He's also a surgeon. So being married to an army officer, again, traveling everywhere. And I was working in the civil, in charitable hospitals in Pune and everywhere. And but somewhere I felt that I was not very happy pursuing dentistry. So that was not my passion. And one fine day, I just decided to quit dentistry. I chucked the army, as I told earlier. Then I chucked dentistry. And I had a lot of interest in listening to people and about their journey and helping them. So then I decided to pursue this course in counseling and guidance from Bombay. And I did that. And there's been no looking back since then. I have worked with an army college in Delhi as a counselor for the medical students for 5 years. And I worked with PGI in cancer department. I worked with an NGO in drug rehab in Chandigarh. And I was working in the psychiatry department till recently in Chandi Mandir, which I quit after I did a course on life coaching. So now I do my freelancing. I work with Deepika Padukone Foundation, Live Love Love Foundation for the cause of depression. So this has been my academic journey so far. So I'm coaching clients, making changes in lives.
Excellent, ma'am. So, being from the army background, have you always been active, or you picked it up later, or has it been a bit of a on and off? So, please share that, your personal journey with fitness and exercise and sports, please.
So yes, we were surrounded by the people who were obsessed with fitness. My father was a golfer himself. He's been a services champion in golf. He still plays golf, though he uses a cart because of his knees. And I was very, very fond of sports since school days. Like I would take part in everything, whether it be kho, badminton, basketball. But I'll be very honest, there was no encouragement from the home side. So it was like, it's okay. I mean, I needed that push, which I didn't get. So I never pursued any sports later after I came out of my school. And in college, there was no question because it was a dental college and the entire emphasis was on studies and academics. So I didn't do any sports activities. After joining army, yes, we used to go for our PTs and all. So that was a normal physical training which we had to go in the morning. So there was no push, there was no motivation from any angle to pursue any sports. Even in the army, it was just for doctors. Let me be very honest, there's not any strict regulation for them to be physically active. Though in other arms, it's seen. So it was very sedentary, just do your job and come back and enjoy your evenings. So the introduction into running came when I was in Chandigarh. So I happened to interact with Colonel Muthu Krishnan, the Boston qualifier, and he kind of introduced the concept of running to me. And it was again, the journey started from there in 2011, I would say. Started on treadmill. Then I started running in a backyard of our house, just doing rounds. And then my first event was with my husband. We both enrolled for a 10K, an event which Fauja Singh was there in Chandigarh by Rahul Burgess, running and living event. It was a 10K in the, it was not a road event. So that was how it started and progressed. Then I shifted to Delhi. Then I met all the runners of Delhi, the DRG, and joined DRG. So I had a very good group in Delhi for runs. And then went outstation, Chennai, Jaisalmer, Hyderabad, did all the events I could do so. So duathlons in Delhi. And that's how it started. It's still going on. Though Chandigarh doesn't have a very active running culture, but we have a small group of friends. We meet up at the lake and we do our runs and participate in events. And I took to cycling also in Delhi. Courtesy Joginder Chandna sir and Preeti and Mona, the triathlete. So that's been the journey so far. Did many events in cycling. I did this Bhakra Nangal event of 70 kilometers cycling. It was probably the toughest for me because it was all inclines. And thanks to a lot of support from a friend, he made me do the entire event. It was all inclines, beautiful scenic view. It was a very challenging event. And then I did one event which was done by the army at Meerut. That was a 100 kilometers cycling event. That so far has been my longest distance cycling. 100 kilometers was at Meerut. Again, a beautiful event done with a lot of good coordination. Again, you know how army is, so it was very well executed event. And doing events here. And now the main thing is that from 21 now, it's my own call which I've taken, and I've switched to 10 kilometers now. So I do more of my gymming and cardio so that I can do a 10K nicely and feel good at the end of it and not be exhausted and tired. So this has been my running journey so far.
Excellent, ma'am. So, since you've been a runner and a cyclist yourself, can you please tell us the benefits of running, cycling, such aerobic, long distance or long duration exercises for mental well-being, and then connecting with physical, please, if you may.
Yeah, so see, we've heard all the runners who always tell us, I've not heard any cyclists saying that we've got a cycling high, but we always hear the runners say that, it's a me time, it's a runner's high, and I feel so good. So it's very important for us to actually understand that what happens in our body, mentally, physically, emotionally, and hormones which get activated when we do any kind of an exercise. So as we call them, the happy hormones, they're all, why do you get a high? It's very important to understand where is that high coming from. It's because of the secretions of the happy hormones, which are secreted and transmitted in the brains, which give us this feeling. and overall the stress is released. It's like you're totally, what happens is when you're focusing on a physical activity, so what all is going here in your mind, it gets shifted to your body. That is what actually happens. The mental part is switched off, and you are focusing on how you're running, how much you have to run, and you're about to finish, or who's running along with you, you're talking to that person. So from the mental state, you switch to your physical state, and each and every muscle of your body is utilized when you're running. So from your brain to your shoulders, your core, your legs, your thighs, your glutes, your feet, every part is utilized, and that is how ultimately you get a wholesome benefits from this sport. It's not just targeted to your quads or your you know uh, knees. It's a whole body workout, which is probably not there in many other sports. So that is the runner's high, and it's very important to have a physical activity, like any physical activity, for 35 to 40 minutes, even a cardio or a hit activity, which you do. Now, being indoors these days, many people have switched to cardio. I've also switched to cardio. So I'm following this cult app, and I did a jaunty roads workout a few days back, and I was like, oh my god, this is so tough. So I was sweating after 30 minutes of workout. So any workout 35 to 40 minutes is very good for our nervous system, because we need to release those hormones and be stress free and be happy. We need to be exhausted, tired, physically also in a healthy way, which is important. Being tired in a healthy way, so that at the end of the day, we sleep well.
And I'm then taking it to the next level. So, when your clients are there, how often, so people who are counseling, how often would you end up prescribing physical activity to them for mental, for psychological well being?
I am getting a lot of calls of late because of stress, and there are a lot of people, women especially, who are really getting very edgy and irritable during these days, and they are not able to sleep. So sometimes I'm so surprised when I get up in the morning, I see my WhatsApp and their messages at 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. People are messaging each other. So that means they're awake till 1 o'clock at night. And morning also, they'll be quick to respond to you even at 6 o'clock if you message to check on how they are. So that means they're barely sleeping for 3 to 4 hours. So during this process, I've been really, either you can, any mindful exercise will help you. First is to calm yourself down because of the anxiety people are having these days, because of the uncertainty of the situation. It's a big question mark. What is happening? When will this end? And people are over worrying. They're panicking about everything. So first is you can practice a little bit of meditation in the morning. So meditation doesn't actually work for everyone. Very few people can connect with it, but it's a very good way of controlling your breathing and calming your mind. So we can start with a little bit of meditation. And what I have also suggested to them is, even for kids and everyone, is to get involved in, you have to, because we're not even walking enough now. And it's not, many people are thinking that, just because you're doing the sweeping and the dishes and you're cleaning the house, so you are active. No, that's a responsibility. You have to do that. You need more than that in your routine to help yourself. So again, there's so many apps which are coming these days, like the cult app I share about. So they have the dance fitness part, they have the aerobics, they have hit workouts, they have cardio workouts, they have separate, just core workouts. So there are so many options which are over there. People are doing so much of online yoga and meditation also. So anyone according to their time slot and their level of comfort, because there are many people who will be beginners here. So they can choose something. And the beautiful thing is that even in these cult workout apps, if you see, there are two set of people who are doing the exercises. So one is showing you, demonstrating it for beginners, and the other is for one who have been into the fitness journey. So you can select one person to follow and easily do these home-based exercises using your app. So I've been recommending everybody to at least get 35 to 40 minutes of good workout, and even skipping. Now, I don't know what's your take on skipping or on the knees and all. I have started recently. I've never done that, but I started with 50, and yesterday I did 200 skips. I'm not getting carried away by the 5,000 figures people are putting on skip. So I'm okay with my 200. So that's what I've suggested to people also. Start skipping, and kids will also love it. Can have a healthy competition at home. I did this much, you can do, try and better that. So that's what I'm suggesting them.
Ma'am, you're spot on. Skipping is amazing. So, everyone should be skipping, because what's happening is when people skip, so, that optimal loading that's actually going on is wonderful for the knees. It's getting the knees stronger. It's preventing future injuries. It's great for running. It's great for exercising. So, skipping is actually a very, very good exercise. The only thing, two things really, would be skip like as you did as a child. So, don't land very heavy. So, keep it very soft. Second part, whether it be a lockdown or not, just don't increase those numbers as you suggested, just randomly. Okay, so gradually build it up. Maybe do 30 seconds only, and then gradually build it up. Skipping is amazing. Ma'am, so how about your colleagues, our colleagues, whether they be psychologists, counselors, doctors, dentists, whatever, right? Most of them are very inactive. Now, how do we get them to pick up sports, physical activity, be the role models that they should be, practice what they're preaching to others? How do we go about with that? Because not enough, as much as more and more are doing it, but yet very small number are. How do we change that?
See, I'll start from my own home. So my husband is a surgeon and he's not at all active and he's just walking the dog. And so I've been telling him also that, listen, you need to get a little bit active. Though they've been working, he's a doctor, so he goes to hospital, he's operating, doing surgeries, even on a Sunday. So, but then it's, there's much more beyond your normal occupation. So I think for everyone, it is very important to send this message across to people, even from the circle I belong to, the defense background. I go, when I was working in the hospital over here, I could barely even, see one person, one doctor who's medically fit. So that's the irony. You are actually treating and curing people and you yourself are medically unfit. They have a board in which they have to declare others fit. But if we put them in that board themselves, they will be unfit. So grossly overweight. And there's so many lifts there in the hospital. So everybody's just using the lifts. So I think they need to change the lifestyle. Culture everyone is leading, include more of walking, and however much schedule you are having, however busy you are in your profession, keeping aside, I think 35 to 40 minutes in your daily schedule has to be on the top of the priority of your list, whether you do it in the morning or you do it later in the evening. So this is a very big myth that doctors actually feel that they are fit. Even in my field, honestly, I'll be very honest, psychologists and counselors, we know everything. We'll tell everything to people, do this, do that. But how much do you practice on yourself? That is where the big question mark is. And I know most of them don't do it. It's very easy to dish out a solution to somebody, change your mindset, exercise, do yoga. But are you doing it yourself or not? So there are obviously, we have very good doctors. I saw your podcast recently also. So everyone is doing various activities and indulging in them. But a message to the medical fraternity that, we have to, and if we are fit and people look at us, if we are fit in every respect, obviously they will try and imbibe that and bring a change in their routine and their schedules. So it's very important. How do we motivate them is, obviously, we all know what are the benefits. So we have to actually look at the benefits and we call it something as opportunity lost at what opportunity cost. So if you're not doing this, what is it that you're losing? And you'll have all your answers. So they have to realize what all they are losing by not being fit. And I think the fear of what you're losing should be enough motivation to get at it.
Wonderful, ma'am. So, how important is sleep then? Whether lockdown or no lockdown, whether it be for doctors, for the patients, for sports people, overachievers in the corporate world, how important a role does that play for recovering, for performing at your peak, for just being sane? How important is that?
So I think sleep is the most important thing and the most neglected one. So what people doing nowadays, definitely I know they are sleeping very late. Everybody is on the mobiles till 11:30, 12. and you are just reading so many forwards which are being sent to you about COVID and the rising numbers, and there's so many jokes and videos and TikToks on COVID which are doing the round. So everybody is busy sharing them, forwarding them, and the sleep pattern has gone for a 6 because there is no routine. People are not following a routine. They're having their breakfast at 11 and then having their lunch around 3, and then heavy snacks. There are so many good dishes and recipes these days coming on Facebook, so everyone has got into binge cooking and binge eating, no form of exercise. So obviously when your routine is affected, your sleep pattern will also be affected. The screen time, first and foremost, for everybody in the family, especially for kids, is how do you monitor the screen time these days, especially before going off to sleep. So if you're sleeping at 10 o'clock, you have to stay away from your mobile at least 2 hours in advance. So you should start preparing for your sleep from 8:30 onwards. Since you had your dinner, you should not be scrolling on your phone while you're having your dinner. So have your dinner at peace and then just switch off, keep it away, and put the net off and try and sleep. And at the same time, how you're sleeping, place and environment also is very important. You can't just go and it has to be neat, it should be clean, it should be good enough to have a sound sleep. So upkeep of your the bed, the environment also plays a very important role. If it's a nice environment, you will feel more calm and relaxed. So if your room is also stuffed with clothes and messy, so it will naturally give you an irritable feeling unless you're so used to sleeping in a messy room. That's besides the point. So the environment, preparing yourself, the environment, and then probably again relaxing yourself. And I believe in gratitude, Rajat, a lot. So every time when I go off to sleep and get up in the morning, the first thing I do is I thank God for giving me another day to live. So I would seriously recommend gratitude to people before sleeping. So it kind of you go through your entire journey of the day and you thank yourself for what you've got during that day, whatever good you've done to yourself and to others, have a calming effect, and just close your eyes and go off to sleep. So sleep is a rest for the body, mind is very, very important. If you sleep well, you will get up relaxed. You will get up without eye bags. There's no need to put kira and all that stuff on your eyes to get rid of those eye bags. So you will get up relaxed, nourished, feeling good, happy, with a good mindset, and you will be able to spend the next day well. And how you get up has an effect on all the members around your family. If you will get up irritated, they're also sorted out for the day. So I feel sleeping in, for runners especially, we see so much in our community, we run so much, and every day people are up at 4 o'clock to clock their miles. And we've been seeing some cases where we've lost our runners. I'd like to mention, I think he was Hariom recently, who had a cardiac event, though the reasons were probably different, but he was very young. Hariom is a runner who recently passed away due to cardiac arrest. So stress plays a very big role in the lives of runners also, because end of the day, you're going to go to work also. You'll get up in the morning, you'll run also, you'll hurry your breakfast, you'll go to work, you'll work whole day. So I think at the end of the day, your body needs those particular hours of sleep. Definitely 6 to 7 hours is needed. So a big change in your routine, 8:30 onwards at night, is only going to help you to achieve that.
Ma'am, some amazing points, ma'am. Thank you for that. So, in summary, ma'am, or maybe that we've missed out on something that you want to touch upon?
I think mostly in for if you're talking about the running also, I would really love to use this opportunity and convey this message to all the runners and non-runners who would like to start, that please, before you start running, identify the purpose of your sports activity. That is very important. What are you running for? Are you running for yourself? Are you running for recreation? Is it just a hobby? Is it for lifestyle? Is it for fitness? You want to be an amateur? You want to be a professional? So before you buy all those swanky shoes and watches and t-shirts and set on the road, please define what is your purpose of running. What is the outcome you want from this sport? Is it for yourself? Is it to show it to others or put on the media, or just be in the rat race of running? So identify the purpose, make your goals accordingly. What is the distance you want to clock? What is the time? What is your comfort level? What are the situations in your life, your job requirements, demands? Accordingly, set your goals, because what your situation is not similar to XYZ. So do not get into a unhealthy competition in sports. That can be very, very dangerous. See your own pros and cons, your comfort zone also, and accordingly enjoy the sport. The end result has to be good for your body, good for your mind, good for your life. So, and the peer pressure, the other runners should also please keep this in mind, that I see a lot of people, they keep pushing people, come on, 60 more, run so many squats more. I think we should let the other person decide for themselves what is good for them and what is not.
Such a solid point, ma'am, because there's just such a fine line, such a thin line between encouraging and literally pushing someone over the edge.
Exactly. Don't literally push them over the edge.
Ma'am, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. So thank you so much for coming along and being part of this conversation.
Thank you so much, Rajesh. Thanks a lot. Good day.
Thank you all for watching yet another episode of Movement Medicine. Please like and subscribe to follow our channel and watch the future episodes as well. Thank you then. Take care all.